Well, good morning everyone, and afternoon I guess for a lot of people, and so hopefully we've got people all around the world. For me, I'm in the Southeast Asia area, so it's a good morning for me anyway. So here we go. I am going to show you what I call a Pacific Edge strategy, which is just a hybrid strategy of sort of mastered, if we want to call it mastered. Still learning. It's a bit of a strategy I've been working on for a while, mainly utilizing the volume profile. Also use a bit of orbs, which is the opening range. Not so much breakouts, but I use the settings, or I use the structure of the orb, the opening range breakout, for the Asia London sessions. Just using those points, it's a good little. We can use a lot of the information. Well, I use a lot of the information from that, just setting up the trades. Take profits and also stop losses, setting up my entry levels for stop losses, etc. But we'll go into it. Now look, I am not the greatest trader in the world by any means. I'm doing what's currently working for me, and I'm happy to show you guys. So don't trade my entries, don't copy trade me. There'll be no doubt better traders out there. So if you want to just copy trade, I'm probably not the best one to do that. What I'm looking for is just a bit of, to be honest, I'm looking to make myself accountable. I've lost a few accounts lately, so I want to get back in getting a bit of discipline back. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to make myself accountable. So I'm going to set up a little live channel. So I'm not expecting to make any money out of this, so don't worry, I'm not going to be offering courses and flogging anything like that. I haven't even got any affiliate codes yet, so I'm not really here to make money. I'm more making myself accountable by going live, and hopefully that straightens me up a bit, because I've been a bit friggin' doing all the wrong stuff. Trading trading with revenge. What else have I been doing? Just over committing on trades. So I want to straighten myself up a bit. So I thought, you know what, bugger it, I'm going to make myself accountable. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be just showing you how I set up for a week / day, every day, and just show you sort of how I do it, and you guys can maybe use some of this information to yourself, or not, doesn't matter. But what I'm looking for is just some trading audience, just to keep me busy, because I'm going to get friggin' bored. So if there's a bit of interaction between, now I'm calling this strategy the Pacific Edge strategy. So how about we call ourselves the edgies. Happy for a different name. Give me some feedback in the comments if you want a different name. But for now, you motherfuckers, the edgies. So until I get a better name, you're stuck with that just for now. All right, so volume profile. I presume everyone's heard of it. It's a bit of a buzz strategy at the moment. Everyone seems to be bloody using it. My life in trading, I've been mainly in crypto, actually, so I'm sort of a bit different than most. A lot of people seem to go from futures into crypto. I'm sort of doing an arse end around, which is going from crypto into futures. I blew my friggin' live account last year, so I wanted to just have a bit of a just hitch a ride on something else as well. So I've started doing futures last year. I was doing it mainly in Australia, but I am now spending a bit of time over in the Southeast Asia. So I am limited to some of the prop firms. My main prop firm will be Apex. So I'll be doing Apex as my main one, because some of the other ones have just kicked me out. Lucid and Take Profit Trader, who are probably my best ones or favourite prop firms. Then they've actually banned the Philippines, so pain in the ass, but I can do a bit of damage on the Apex. And there's a couple others I'm looking at as well. So here we go. Anyway, so let's start again. Let's remove this and we'll start again. So I'm going back to, I'm actually not running live at the moment. It's on the weekend, so I'm just simulating a trading session and a trading setup. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do the previous week. I'm going to plot the previous week, which in my terms is Monday. Hang on, is that right? Monday the 4th of May through to last candle on a Saturday for me, Saturday morning. I'm on the 5-minute chart just doing this. Once I've it's very hard to bloody do this with on the 1 minute, but I'll actually set all this up on the 1 minute just for ease of producing the profile, plotting the profile points. It's easier doing it on a 5 minute, especially for this, for the weekly, which is the previous week. So I have got ranges all drawn, set up for each of these. And am I in this one? This is the previous week, yes. So I'm in the previous week now, so I've just drawn that on. So what that's telling us is, I don't know if you guys have done much on volume profiles, but what it's basically telling you, this is where the highest value for that week, that previous week, which is, if you guys can see, is Monday the 4th of May, 6 a.m. till Friday. Well, it should be Friday. Anyway, I'll do that when I'm in the 1 minute. I'll just fix those timings up. And what we've got here is the highest value at that point for that week. That's where the highest value sits, up there. And so this is our range for the week. It's not the actual range, it's where the volume's sitting. So we're doing, because as you'll see, or as you may see, down here is the yellow line, which is called the POC, the point of contact. And this is where the most value is sitting for that week. So the highest value of is sitting at this median level here. So it's not anything to do with it's in the middle exactly, although this looks very close to being the equilibrium of this range. That's just how it is. Sometimes it could be sitting up here. If the chart's going off for the you'll see it sitting closer up here maybe, or down here if it's been a bit of a week that's in a bit of a downtrend. This is where the most value is sitting now. And this, as opposed to the top, this is the lower value area. That's where the lowest value is sitting. So see here, like there's all this area here, but it all averaging out to be in this area is where the lowest range is. So we want to know that for the current week or the next week that we're trading. We want to know these levels, because you'll find that these levels are very good points of where to take entries from, which we'll get into. So at the moment, that's great. It's fixed to this range, but we want to know the whole week, these levels. So what we're going to do is actually mark these levels out by using a ray, a line ray. So I've got these marked for the the different levels. So we're doing firstly the previous week value high, okay, which is that. Excellent. The POC, the previous week POC level. So you just click on it. What do I use then? Sorry. Don't. As you can see, I'm not going to be great at YouTube, sorry, but anyway, bear with me. I'll get there, I promise. Change that to the previous week POC level. That's where the greatest value is sitting. So you'll note that the entry should come back to these levels. And we now want the value low. Previous week value low level. Excellent. So now through that whole week, that'll sit there and we'll be monitoring the reactions off those points. Now the previous week didn't really touch anything down here, but it has made some touches and reacted straight off. Now it's not always going to be tagged straight on, not always going to be like right on the banger, but we're monitoring these levels. So the reaction at these points, you'll find it does hit, and it can be a great spot for trading from, and it's my main sort of area where I'll be trading from anyway. So we've done the weekly. Now we're going to do the previous days. We are going to do the previous days. Oh, we'll do the previous. Sorry, we'll do the overnight. So we're going to do Monday. No, we're not. Why are we going to do Monday? We're not going to do Monday. We're going to do Friday. No, we're not. What are we doing? Sorry, I've just used the replay to go back in this just to set up a level. So we're doing the previous day, which will be, what are we up to? Thursday. So that's Friday. So we're going to be charting for Friday. So we want Thursdays. Thursdays. Is that right? What am I talking about? 4 a.m. No, we want Wednesday. Sorry, I've got this set up wrong. Wednesday, sorry. So Wednesday overnight, which will be Wednesday overnight, which will be 6 a.m. for me, which is 6 p.m. for the Eastern Standard Time, US time. What the hell am I doing? 6. I'm probably confusing everyone with this, but once you do a few of these, it's very easy. All right, so I want 6 o'clock till 21:30, which is 21:29 I'll actually want. So I'll adjust these when I'm on the 1 minute. Oh my God, come on. All right, that'll do for now. Okay, so that is... I'm going to change that to the previous overnight. Now I want the previous... So we're doing overnight value high. We want the overnight POC. All right. And we want the overnight very low. Okay. Excelente. So now we've done the overnight. Now we want the previous day. So the previous day is the US session, the New York session. So it's the 21:30 through to 4 a.m. I'll change that to the previous day. And what that's going to be covering is 9:30 New York session through to 4 a.m. Sorry, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, US time, morning, till 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, I don't trade the last hour, and I don't want those in my figures because that's a bit of a bloodbath. I don't want those, that last sort of hour. Anything can happen. It throws out the figures a little. So I actually just cut it off for that period. So then we want to add in the previous day value high, the previous day POC. Oh my god, I'm so slow at this, sorry, I do apologize. We want the previous day value low. Okay, and we've got that. So what we've accomplished there is the weekly, previous week. That covers Monday to Friday. Well, Sunday night, isn't it, for you guys? So it'd be Sunday 6 p.m. Is the open time for the Asian session. So we'll get a little bit confused with timing, with times. But anyway, it is what it is, but we'll get there. So we've done that. And what I also do is if it's past Wednesday in the week, I also set up the current session, the current weekly session as well. So the current weekly session will start Monday and we'll go through to so that's wrong, but and that will go through for that whole extended week. So I don't worry about it before Wednesday, if that makes sense, because we're monitoring the previous day and the overnights, so it really is still developing this profile, but it is handy after Wednesday. So you'll see there, I don't have to draw lines. That will just extend, if you can see it, that orange thing. So I do use it, but I don't use it. It's more just conceptually, visually, just monitoring it. Now, the reason why you don't have to touch that is because that's going to develop that whole week and extend right. So that'll just keep going, and that will eventually be the previous week for the following week, if that makes sense. So you just have to change the chart. Look, might be a bit confusing how I'm explaining this one and just doing it, but once you've done it a few times, very easy. All right, so now we're sort of going to move into the 1 minute, just so I can really precision this, these zones, these points of interest. So don't have to worry about the orange one, is the current weekly one. Now, people do use monthly. They use also these what's called the low value nodes, which is in between like these dead areas. There's no volume, no one's buying, it's going straight through. And what you'll notice once you start looking into it and trading it regularly, you'll see that off these levels, it might react off these levels, and where it sees these no volume, it'll just go straight through it. It might go straight through to here and react, but it'll actually really fly through those sort of areas. Like this area here, from here, if it breaks down here, it'll just fly through. You'll notice, because there's just no volume there. There's no auction orders. There's no orders sitting in there to react to. So it'll just likely just go straight through, fly through, and that's very powerful. Knowing where you're situated in those periods, or in those at those points when the market's hitting those levels. So let's start with this is the high, the value high, the previous week value high, and I want to precisely move these figures, not these figures, but these lines, so as close as I can to there. That's the value high. If you can just read that, don't know if that's coming through, but that's the value high. That's the value high of the previous week. Now the next one down obviously will be the POC, so that just needs to be smoothed out, and then we'll do the previous week value low. Okay, done. As I said, we don't have to worry about the orange current week. That's just doing its thing. We don't have to worry about that until next week. Then we'll change this to the previous week. Make some adjustments at the other end, but that'll be the new previous week, if that makes sense. Do it a few times. Don't stress on it. Don't panic. I know it's confusing if you don't know what you're looking at the moment, but it'll start making sense soon. Alright, so again, we don't have to worry about that. All we're doing now is we're going to do this one, which is our previous, it's the overnight, so Wednesday overnight time, which will be the Asia session, the London session, up to 9:30 in the morning for the New York session to start. Alright, so oh my god, that was way out. What the hell am I doing here? So that's the overnight value low. That's the geez, this was way out, my friend. That's the overnight value high, and this is the overnight POC, point of control. Now we're going to do the value low for the previous day, 9:30 a.m. till 4:50, so 4 p.m. using US time. That's the previous day POC, and that's the previous day value high. Okay, so we're done. We're done. Excellent. Good job, AJ. That's me, by the way, AJ. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to just run this a little, just so we've got some data. Oh, actually, I will do one thing, which some of these times are a bit out. So now we're on the 1 minute, I can really get the exact timing. So this should be starting, if I can find, this should be starting 6 a.m. 6 a.m. You don't have to do the rest because it's extending. The previous weekly was a bit out of whack. 6 a.m. starts right. I just want that back a minute. Well, not a minute, but... So I hope I haven't lost everyone. Probably have, but... oh well, whatever. Okay, so we want the previous week. If I can find it. I'm just looking for this point here, because if you see here, we're right here, Monday, 6 a.m, 4th of May. Monday, we don't want Monday, but we just want to go back to the 4:59. Come on, there, perfect. All right. Now I should have done it with while I was fiddling with the getting these set up position right, but anyway, so that's done. Previous week, and I think I was out a little bit with one of these as well. Alright, where are we? Where are we? Where the hell are we? Up here, are we? Okay. So, looking at this, 6 a.m. Wednesday till, I want 29. Is that right? 29, okay. For the previous day, sorry, that was the overnight. Previous day is 21:30, correct. 4:59, I just want that 3:59 actually. Okay. Now, it is tedious a little bit, but once you get the hang of it, it's fine. You'll fly through it. And now, once you've done this, you don't have to redraw all these. You can just use these for the next day. So you just move them. You know you got them. I've actually built a tool that will. Not that one. Where is it? This one here. I've built my own indicator that actually plots them all automatically. I've noticed a couple of slightly out, plus I'm not going to really release this, so I'm a very lazy trader. So if I can take a shortcut, I will. And actually, I've set these up so it'll do it automatically, but anyway, I'm not going to show you that because that's just because everyone will be wanting a copy of it, and it's just not. It's got a couple of little bugs I want to iron out before I release it, but at some point I will probably release it to anyone that's probably joining our little community. Okay, so we've got everything we need at the moment. What we're now going to be doing is monitoring our current session. So we're going to be doing, in this case, we're going to be starting the session for Thursday. And if I change that to current session, what that's going to do is that's actually our current session for Thursday that we're trading. Okay. If we look at that, 6:01, so that's slightly out by 1 minute. Look, what I'm struggling with this because I'm on a limited screen at the moment because I'm doing it through YouTube, but you'll work out how to quickly do these. And what that's showing as well is that you just have to plot it, draw it, and because this session, profile session, is set up so it's extending right, that will just keep displaying and moving ahead. Have I started that? Have I? Oh. That'll start moving with the session as the market moves along these areas. So that's the idea of having this one running live. It's not fixed, it's developing. So this is what we'll be using as our main entry level, or this is where we'll be entering stuff in accordance with not so much these areas, but these areas compared to these historical ones, because you'll be seeing as you get more advanced with this, that the reaction points from these levels, and this is where we trade off. If it's strong market going up, we'll be trading around these areas and using points for our stop losses, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's basically how we draw it. That's how we draw everything. I hope that makes sense. So what we've basically got are these levels here. Previous day point of control, previous day value high, the overnight value high, the overnight point of contact, the previous day value low, so that's the US session value low, the overnight, which is the overnight day, Asia, London's values as well. And what we're going to be monitoring is the way the market interacts with these zones. So anyway, that's our first video, just to show you how I set everything up. And then on the following Monday, we start again and we do the weekly, and we change that weekly one, that present, the orange one. We'll be moving that by, I won't do it now, but we'll be moving that from the present week. That'll now fulfill the previous week. That'll now become the previous week, and we'll just adjust these zones accordingly. So we'll be moving the well, I don't know where the weekly ones are, but we'll be moving those to these areas, the orange ones, and we'll change that profile to the previous week, if that makes sense. Anyway, just a bit of a brief on the structure, how I set it up, and there's some other things I'll be showing you along the way as well, which is some of the orbs, which is the areas of the opening range, the 5-minute opening range. So I'll move into that. I'm not going to go through that now. That'll totally confuse you. Now, I don't actually trade the breakouts anymore. I just use these areas just visually, conceptually to create the right trading scenario and give me some entry levels and entry exit points for taking profit and setting stop losses, etc., etc. So this is a little tool that I've actually created. Again, it's got a couple of little bugs in it, so I'm not going to release it publicly. You can go and if you search in the toolkits for orb, you can find those easy enough in TradingView's tools. There's heaps of third-party things that have done it, but I've done it because I wanted a couple of little things like adding a range, how many points in that range, just so I know how big that 5-minute for the Singapore/Australian opening range is. That's 20 points, so I can use that to my advantage. Anyway, some of that might come out if you guys are prepared to put up for my boring Aussie accent, or even understand my boring Aussie accent. Look, I'm going to try and keep it a little fun. I'm not going to be very good at this YouTube, I can already tell, but keep with me. Let's have a little bit of fun together. If you're sitting there trading, don't do it by yourself. Let's have a chat. Come and join the community, and let's see how much we can learn off each other. Anyway, that's it for now. Over and out, my edgies. I still want a better name than that, so guys, come up with something better. Sounds, now that I say it out loud, sounds a bit stupid. So, yeah, come up with something better, guys. Anyway, over and out. Have a good day, night, week, whatever it is, until I start doing live sessions. I'm going to be trying to do as many live sessions during the day. I'll probably start 6:30 a.m. my time, which is 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Work yourself out around the timing there. Once I've worked out how to use YouTube properly and set some actual like events in YouTube. Hopefully you'll be able to just click on a button or two and you'll be in the system and we'll be friends forever. Maybe not forever, but anyway, let's see how we go. All right, guys, long-winded, but we got there in the end. So thanks, guys.